So Dr. Stone's going to be the only manga that's like cut up in shorter chapters because like sometimes I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, this feels major. And before I get to something else big, I want to talk about this. And so every 10 chapters or so far has been like something major I feel like has happened. So that's why these videos are shorter. Just a quick little introduction for that. Hey guys, welcome back to the Everything Anime Podcast. Here we talk about anime, video games, manga, and whatever relevant topic we feel like talking about. Today's video is going to be Dr. Stone Part 3. This is chapters, I believe, 20 to 30. Now, where we last left off in Dr. Stone, I believe he had just told Chrome like everything. Well, they had found out like the Earth basically has flipped on its axis. Like the North Star does not point north anymore, and Dr. Stone's learning like, hey, we're one step closer to figuring out what this phenomenon is, but we don't know exactly what it is just yet. So when we open this chapter, we're introduced to a new antagonist, sort of. His name is Gen Asagiri. He's like this like failed practical magician who's out for himself. Like, he is on Tsukasa's side if Tsukasa's like army of like Stone Age soldiers can fight, because Tsukasa already has a bunch of people that he wants to resurrect. Like, Tsukasa has handpicked who he's going to bring into his new stone world, and he sent Gen to 10 days in the past to find out if Senku or Dr. Stone was alive or if he was dead. If he was dead, Tsukasa was like, okay, cool. If he's not dead, Tsukasa wanted Gen to go find out, come back and report it to him so he can go kill Senku once again. Because as we know, he believes he killed Dr. Stone by chopping him on the back of his neck. So, how we're introduced again is there's a bunch of shenanigans, a bunch of funny stuff going on, and Dr. Stone wants to make these people food from like our time because they're just eating fish every day. They're tired of eating fish. And so Dr. Stone's like, okay, I'm going to make you like a specialty back where we're from. And it's nothing more than ramen. Like, and I mean the cheap ramen, the kind that you pop in the microwave, put some hot water in it, and you go to town on it. And I ate stuff like that too. I've ate sheep before, and it is good. And it fills you up. But to them, it's heaven. To Dr. Stone, he's like, ugh. He's like, this is disgusting. But that's how we meet Gen, because Gen's in the background saying like, oh, this is so nice. I wish I had a cola to go with it. And Dr. Stone's like, cola? And that's how we introduced Gen. And already Dr. Stone, Senku knows who he is. He knows he's like a failed magician or whatever like that. And as like they're all having this conversation, two guards, I think it's Magma and somebody else that watches the shamanist, they're coming to like interrogate Dr. Stone, like, what is this magic? You're feeding all these people ramen and all this and that. They want to know what's going on. And so before they attack them, Gen does like this magic trick where like he makes flowers appear, and they're stunned. They're like, oh my god, sorcery. Because once again, they're not used to this stuff. They think everything Dr. Stone and Gen and everybody from our time is magic, but it's really just like practical trick of the hand, trick of the sleeve. And so Gen basically makes them like back off. He's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. And then Gen basically says like, I'm willing to still join Tsukasa if it benefits me. But then you start seeing Dr. Stone make iron, and then at one point Dr. Stone makes electricity from like this iron pole. He like lightning strikes this iron pole, and like it's like electricity for the first time in 3,500 years. And it like, on a scale of like, the planet being dark, it just shows like this like buzzing on Earth. And we know it's not that huge, but like it's just to show like this is something awesome. It's amazing. In that moment, Gen decides, Senku, I'm with you. I'm going to go back to Tsukasa. I'm going to tell him I didn't find anything. You're dead. And I'm going to come back. And Senku is like, yeah, that's fine. You can be a part of our kingdom of science. And so Gen tries to go back to Tsukasa to report his false findings, but he gets attacked. And it's played off as a mystery for like maybe like a chapter and a half. And it turns out it was Magma, one of the guards that tried to attack Senku before. He believes he had killed Senku because, like, he just assumed that that's who that was. And so it's played off for just a chapter and a half, that Gen is dead, but when Senku goes to examine his body, he's covered in blood packs. This guy had planned for if he ever got to attacked or damaged, he would fake that he died. So when Magma stabbed him with a spear and ran away, Gen pretended like he died. And so that was pretty clever of him. Senku applauds him. He's like, yeah, not bad. And so Gen's final way to join Dr. Stone is like, he whispers in his ear, like, can you do something for me? And it turns out he's like, can you make cola? And Dr. Stone's like, easy. And he makes Coca-Cola, basically. And so now we have Gen on our side. Gen, the fake magician, or Gen, the practical magician. And so from there, now that we've made ramen, we've got electricity, we've got iron, Dr. Stone's like, okay, next we need to make glass. And so I was wondering where Dr. Stone was going with this. We meet another character named Sukia. Again, I haven't read the manga. I mean, I've only read the manga. I haven't seen the anime, so I don't know how to pronounce her names. But she has like the watermelon on her head. At first, I was a boy, but it's a girl. Like, she has this watermelon on her head. She doesn't want to take it off. And there's some hilarious gags, like, where she can, like, roll around town really fast or, like, hide in, like, a patch of, like, watermelons to, like, pretend like, or fruit that pretend like she's a fruit so she can gather information. And one of the Dr. Stone's motivations for making glass, well, originally it was because, like, glass is the foundation of chemistry. Chemistry is going to lead us to science and, you know, bigger and better things. I mean, there's ultimately something else he's trying to make, but that's his point. Like, we're gonna make glass because it's the foundation of chemistry. And so one of the motivations, he says, this is like the gags and humors that Dr. Stone does, is that he's like, oh, I want to make glass so I can cut that watermelon off your face and see what you look like. And so Suka's like, oh, I'm ugly under here, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, no, you're not. So Sukia takes off this watermelon, and first of all, she's an adorable little kid. Like, she's adorable. They all, like, love her. They're like, oh, and then she makes this ugly face. And I was like, I thought she was, like, being rude, but it's because she can't see. So apparently those watermelons, like, it, like focuses her vision. Kind of like glasses, but there's no glass on it. They just kind of, like, focus her vision. Like, having these two holes, like, basically I have, like, you know, if you look now, you can see out of your peripheral vision. I can see this wall behind me, my Coke, my soda. On my right, I can see this and that. But if you cup your hands like this, I can no longer see that wall, and I can no longer see that blue folder. But you can see clearly in front of you. And so Dr. Stone realized, he's like, hey, are you blind? You can't see us, right? And Suka's like, oh, well, when I wear my watermelon, I can see, but, you know, about it, I can't see that well. And so Dr. Stone is even more motivated to make glass. And so he goes and finds this craftsman named Kaseki, and, or I believe he did it before he met Kaseki, but he did it before he met Kaseki. So Dr. Stone makes glass, like simple glass. I forgot how he does it. They explain it in the manga, but he makes glass, and first he asks Sukia, like, can you see? Oh wait, before that. So one of the reasons why Sukia really wants to see, because she's never seen her friends before. She's never seen Dr. Stone or Chrome or Kohaku or the others, Ginko, Rinko. She has never seen them clearly. So she's only seen them through like her little glasses. She's like, I would love to see for the first time. And so Dr. Stone makes her, well, first of all, he gives her glasses. He's like, hey, can you see this flower? Or can you see what this is? And she's like, no, I can't see it. And then he puts the glasses on her. She can see a sunflower, and she starts crying. And it's played off really beautiful. It's played very cute, very, very wholesome. I really like that they did that for Sukia. And so Sukia can now see she has glasses, or he puts the glasses on the watermelon because she's more comfortable with the watermelon hat on it. But now she can see clearly. And so then Dr. Stone's like, well, now that we made glass, I want to make those tubes that you use in science to put chemicals and all that stuff in. So Dr. Stone is looking for a craftsman, and as he's like, the craftsman's not impressed at first. He's like, oh, what do you need me for? So Dr. Stone tries to like craft like glass tubes himself, and it just comes out like all these like weird shapes. And the craftsman's like insulted. He's like, how dare you? And he like turns into this buff old man like Master Roshi, and he like instantly starts making these glass tubes, and he makes them all perfect and shaped like how we're used to making them in like chemistry class. And Dr. Stone's like, yes, we are one step closer to science. And like, you know, getting the cure, because I almost thought they forgot about the cure for Ruri, the shamaness, Kohaku's sister. I almost thought they forgot about it, but he needs, like, to obviously to make the medicine, he has to have those scientific tools and stuff like that. So the craftsman Kaseki, using his muscles and all that, he makes a bunch of glass tubes and stuff like that. And so then Dr. Stone's like, okay, now we need one more thing. We need, it was another type of acid. I think it was, hold on, I had to make notes. Sulfuric acid, not nitrocic acid, which is the revival fluid. This is sulfuric acid. But there's only a certain way to find it. So if you remember in I called it the Stone Age arc or something like that. I believe that's what they called it, Stone Age arc. I'll have to go back and check. Anyways, whatever the arc of the last video was called, Dr. Stone's like, we need to find sulfuric acid. But the only way to do that is to track it down. And how do you track it down? Well, silver reacts when it's in the presence of, like, toxin, it turns black. So if you remember, like, the last video, these two characters, Ginko and Rinko or something like that, one of them got a gold spear, the other one wanted a silver spear. And Dr. Stone did make the gold spear, but I forgot to mention this gold spear was used to make iron. This arc. And he also turns out to be blind. I forgot to mention that. The one that got the gold spear, he turns out to be blind, but he doesn't want anybody to know. And the reason why we know he's blind is because after he's watching Sukia get the glasses in Dr. Stone, and she's able to see clearly. And I forgot to say that they're severely nearsighted. Sorry, I'm all over. This is a rant. These aren't scripted, but they're both nearsighted. Sukiya's nearsighted, and the dude with the gold spear, I think his name is Rinko or Ginko, he's severely nearsighted, but he told the other guy that wants a silver spear to keep it a secret. He's like, don't tell anybody. And so Dr. Stone makes the Ginko, I think his name is Ginko. Let me check my notes real fast. I think it was Ginko. He makes him the silver spear. And Ginko, he's like, all right, you got your silver spear, but now I need you to do me a favor. I need you to lead the group. And he doesn't tell Ginko, like, the spear will turn black whenever in the presence of toxin, which, I mean, obviously makes, Ginko sad because he wanted the silver spear so bad. But he's guiding the group, and then once Dr. Stone, because after like a while of walking, he's like, what is the point of this? And Dr. Stone tells him, like, it's going to turn black in the presence of toxin. He's like immediately scared. And then there's this gag where they reach this toxic lake of sulfuric acid where the spear does turn black. But over this lake is a beautiful woman. Like, she's like beautiful. That's the way it's presented. And she's smiling. And because the spear turns turning black, Ginko gets scared. He's like, oh, we found it. And then all of a sudden, like, this woman, probably an illusion, turns real. She's like, how did you know? How did you know? It's makes this like hilarious face. Like, she's like, how did you know? You're supposed to die. It reminds me of like Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, when like the three brothers, one of them asks for the most powerful wand in the world, and he gets killed because everybody wants a powerful wand in the world. Another one asks for a stone that can resurrect the dead, and he gets killed because the love of his life goes away again. But the third one asks for a cloak, and it's to hide from death. And that's what kind of gave me, like, she was kind of like death. She was angry. She's like, how did that one get away from me? How did you guys get away? How did you figure out that this was all a trap? And so Dr. Stone Senku says, okay, before we can retrieve this sulfuric acid, we need gas mask. And so he's like, okay, everybody can go but Chrome. And if you remember, Chrome is the sorcerer of this town. That's what he calls himself, but he's actually a man of science. He just doesn't know it. And Dr. Stone says to him, look, everybody can go but you. The reason why is because there is a 10 billion% chance one of us might die, or I might die. And if I die and you die, there's no one here to revive science in this day and age. So I'm now going to imbue everything I know about science to you right now. And that's where I ended it up. I felt like that was a really cool stopping point. Do I think Dr. Stone's going to die next chapter? No. But I do think that was like really dramatic and really cool. Like if I was my first time reading a manga and I didn't know how long Dr. Stone would be, I'd be like, oh shit, Dr. Stone could die, or he could get seriously injured, and Chrome is going to have to take over for him for a while. And so I'm really enjoying it. I'm starting the next couple 10. Hopefully it goes longer than 10. Hopefully I can start like doing more bigger bulks. But like I said, because so many things happening in Dr. Stone back to back to back, this isn't like your normal anime where like, you fight a boss on an island and we move on to the next island. Or, there's a bunch of stuff happening on this island. It's more like, hey, we need iron, we need electricity, we need glass, we need sulfuric acid. It's like always one thing after another. just leading up to this Kingdom of Science. And you have Tsukasa in the background with his army. You have these new characters being introduced all the time. So I find with Dr. Stone, it's better to do it in like smaller bulks compared to like, something like Naruto or One Piece or Shaman King, where I can stretch it out for like 10, 15 chapters and then talk about it if there's something major that happened, or if I can bulk it into one. So we'll see how the Dr. Stone reviews go. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I'm enjoying Dr. Stone. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And that's where we're going to end the video for now. This video was sponsored by the Shinry series. Check out my link tree below for the link to all my books, starting with Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku, the first book in the Shinry series, available on Amazon now. Thanks for checking me out, and hope to see you guys in the next video.